Hello, friends and family, and happy Monday. I know time change was yesterday, and that always just kind of throws me. I don't know why, whether we lose or gain an hour. It just seems to do that to me. So anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I want to talk with you today about identity. I have been circling these chapters in John that we've been talking about with the kingdom. And when I mean circling, I've been just rereading them. John 13, 14, 15, and 16. These 4 chapters I've just been digesting and meditating on. And this weekend I circled back to John 13 where Jesus washes the disciples' feet. And I wanted to share something that I really stood out to me about him washing their feet. And it says in John chapter 13, verse 3, that Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, rose from supper to wash his disciples' feet, is what he rose to do. And I really started meditating on this and thinking about it. And I really believe the revelation that I want to share with you today and the encouragement is that Jesus, knowing whose he was, that he came from God and he was going to God, and that God had given all things into his hands, is what preceded him showing servant leadership. It's what preceded humility. So our identity in Christ precedes our servant leadership. So in your life, if you struggle with feeling like, well, I don't want to come across as not the leader. I don't want to come across as, I don't want somebody taking my position. If these are things that in your workplace or in your relationships that you're worrying about, I just encourage you, take a look at your heart and ask yourself, where am I putting my identity in? See, Jesus later says, I'm your teacher, I'm your master, you're right in this. And I want you to do what I do. I want you to serve and prefer others. He's saying humility is the way forward. He later says, my new commandment I give you, love each other as I love you. This is all in the same conversation of him washing their feet. So my question and my encouragement for you today is put your identity in Christ, in whose you are. Servant leadership, this is the way that Jesus planned it. We don't have to prove that we're anybody that has to say, I'm the leader. Usually they're just being insecure about their leadership. If you find yourself doing that, like trying to build yourself up in something other than Christ, it's tiring. That's tiring. I encourage you, lean into your identity, just like Jesus did. He knew that the Father had given all things in his hands. He knew that he came from the Father and he was going to the Father. I want you to know today, as a child of God, your identity, your security, who you are is not in what you do. It's in whose you are. You are a child of God. And identity, the identity that you have in Christ and whose you are, precedes humility and servant leadership. So I encourage you to take this truth, live in it today. Show others the love of Christ in a way that you've never been able to before, because you're just loving them out of a pure humility and servant leadership. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in a couple of days.